You're careful about what you eat and what products you use, and you want the same healthy life for your beloved pets. You've been searching the internet and social media for natural solutions to your pet's issues, and you're trying to find ways to prevent issues from cropping up in the first place. But everywhere you look, you find different answers, varied opinions, and you just end up more confused. Your pet is a part of your family. He deserves the best, and he deserves to live a long, healthy life. I'm here to tell you that it can be easy, that taking care of your pet naturally doesn't have to be a headache for you. I'm going to talk to you about everything natural wellness, including what to feed your pet, how to use herbs and essential oils, massage and hands-on techniques, meditation, communication, and energy healing. If it's natural, it's worth talking about. In this podcast, you'll learn everything you need to know about taking care of your pet naturally, for life. I'm Corinne, and this is the Enlightened Animal Podcast. Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Enlightened Animal Podcast. So in this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about animal design. And this is something that I find very fascinating that I learned about not that long ago, but this is something that I find really interesting, and it's a fascinating way to learn significantly more about your dog and why they're in your life and how you can learn to interact, adjust, train, feed, or be with them based on their energetic and aura profile. And so I don't know if you've ever heard of human design. This is something that's been becoming more and more popular recently in the world, especially the alternative health and wellness world. So if you haven't heard of it, human design is a system that combines elements of astrology, the I Ching, the Kabbalah, and the chakras to kind of provide a blueprint of an individual's energy, personality, and life purpose. So it identifies a person's energy type, a person's strengths, decision-making style, and how they best interact with other people, other individuals, and the world. And you can apply this to animals, which is what I find so fascinating. So when it's applied to animals, it can help understand your animal's unique energy and their natural tendencies. And just like with us humans, they have their own way of processing energy and interacting with their environments. And by understanding their design, we can tailor our care, our training, and communication to align with their natural behavior patterns. And it makes it easier to meet their needs. And it also strengthens the bond that you have between you and your pet. So it really allows for a deeper understanding of their preferences, their instincts, and how they express themselves. And so I wanted to go into this a little bit by using one of my dogs. I have 4 Australian Shepherds, and I was going to use Izzy as an example of what you can find and how you can kind of see how this would be really interesting to understand and to learn more about. So I have her chart in front of me right now, and I'm just going to touch the tip of the iceberg. I'm just going to cover her channels and her gates, so everybody has different centers, or animals tend to have 5 centers in their body, and there's channels that connect the different centers. And then each center has multiple gates. And I'm not going to get into it any more than that because it can be really confusing. And this isn't meant to be a lesson in how to read a chart. It's just so that you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. So she has 2 connected channels. The first channel she has is called the channel 2838, which is it's the struggle channel. And this channel, when a dog has this, it represents a crucial biological and energetic pathway, and it's similar to the immune system in humans. But what's really important about this is about this channel is it's the epicenter of an animal's drive for survival. So it's going to influence how she responds to immediate threats and environmental challenges. And it really is instrumental, this channel, in developing and honing essential survival skills, which are crucial for their existence in the wild. So a dog that has this, like Izzy, and this makes so much sense when I found this out about her, it means that, let's say, heaven forbid, she got out and got lost. Having this channel, she has essential survival skills for surviving in the wild. She can kind of take care of herself, where another dog that doesn't have this channel might really struggle to find food or find their way home or figure out how to hide from a predator, for example. And if you know Izzy like I do, it makes perfect sense, because she does have this kind of survival instinct about her. And it also allows her to live in harmony with her natural environment and to adapt accordingly. So it really allows her to even understand her interactions with the other dogs in the household and the environment, like when we're out and about and she encounters strange animals, strange dogs, people, etc. It really helps guide her through the challenges that may come up in her environment. And it basically ensures that she will continue to exist and she will be healthy and fulfilled and won't have any stresses in that aspect of her life. And it is 100% in coherence with the personality that she has. And when I discovered that, I found it quite fascinating. The other channel she has is the 1/8, which is the inspiration channel. Now, this one I found also exceptionally fascinating. It's an individual channel, meaning it defines their individualistic nature, but it's also a mutative channel. Now, this is really interesting. Basically, having this channel it's talking about mutations. So mutations typically manifest when one animal in a group does an action that then the others follow. And I don't know if you've ever heard of the 100th monkey phenomenon, but this was a concept that emerged from a study of Japanese macaques in Japan in the 1950s. And what they found, the researchers found, is they were observing this one young female macaque, and she was washing sweet potatoes in a stream every time she was going to eat them. So she'd wash them first and then she'd eat them. And what happened is that other monkeys started doing the same thing, started imitating her. And there arrives at a critical mass, and they called it the 100th monkey, hypothetically. Once a certain number of monkeys started adopting this behavior, then it started to mutate to other monkey groups. So that's the mutative kind of factor in it. And it's also been observed in wild dolphins. And what's fascinating about this is basically what it means is that she will start to do certain behaviors and the other dogs will start to copy her behaviors, and then it will become normal for the whole group. And I've seen this on multiple occasions. Now, caveat, it's not always positive. Sometimes it's bad behaviors, but it's whatever she decides, because she has this individual channel. So she's kind of an outlier within the group. She doesn't necessarily fit the norm of behaviors of what dogs do. But certain of her, so she does a lot of behaviors that aren't very typically dog-like and kind of make her very individualistic. But then she has other behaviors that she does that are, I guess, dog-like enough, but that cause the other dogs in our household to start copying her and imitating her. And then after a certain amount of time, they're all doing the same behavior. And it's really fascinating to to, it plays into like the evolution and social dynamics, if you want to get really researchy. But, just as a pet parent, knowing this about her, that she has this kind of, individualistic nature, but also to the fact that it's different, but at the same time, it draws the attention of the other dogs so much so that they want to start copying and doing the same things. How fascinating is that to learn that about, the group dynamics when you have multiple dogs like I do, and starting to notice these things. And then the final piece for her is she has a gait that's called a hanging gait because it's not a complete channel. It's only on one side. It doesn't go all the way across to the next center. She's got the gait 20 of presence. Now, this one really blew me away because I started to realize how much her energy and aura was actually teaching me. So the 20th gate is known as the gate of presence. And it's a real defining characteristic, behavioral characteristic for animals that have this gait. Now, she is the only one in my household, because I've done the charts of all 4 of my dogs. She's the only one in my household who has this gait, which just is fascinating. So this gait is characterized by a profound sense of presence. So it really anchors these animals in the present moment. And so she truly, truly lives at a heightened level of presence in all her daily activities. Now, because of this, it does create this intense focus in the present moment. On one hand, it's good because it means she's not easily distracted or swayed from what's happening in the moment. So if I'm training something simple, right, it doesn't require a lot of thinking of what's going to happen next, she's amazing because she's so hyper-focused in the experience that's happening right away. But on the downside, if I wanted to train her, for example, to do something really complex, like some complex tricks or complex commands, that there's like a chain of events, that can be challenging for her because her inherent nature is to be really immersed in this current process that she's in. So it's really hard for her to shift her attention to a task that's going to require her to anticipate something in the future or a future outcome, or to recall a past training. Now, she's really good at repeating past training if it's a simple, straightforward task. But if it's a complex, like chain of events thing, she does have a harder time with it, which I find really fascinating. And this is something that I learned about her that I had no idea. But even though it's challenging, it's really refreshing because it speaks to her authenticity and her purity of the interactions that she's having with the world, like in the moment. She really lives life moment by moment, and she's got a level of engagement and presence that is unencumbered by distractions. So she's not going to think about, so she doesn't stress. When you have dogs that kind of have like separation anxiety or stress about thunderstorms, she doesn't have that because she's not bringing back something from the past that might potentially be a danger or a stressor. And she's not anticipating what can happen by hearing or sensing something. She's so in the moment that she's always like pretty zen, and she's so like 100% laser focused on what's going on in the exact moment in time. And what's the beauty about learning about this is that so if you have a dog that has this gait, for caring for them and for interacting with them, it's really important to kind of appreciate and respect their need to be in the moment and to create environments and routines that really align with their present focused living. And that can really enhance their well-being. But the other thing that's really fascinating on a life lesson side of it is that their her being so focused in the present moment is a really valuable lesson for me, because when you're in the presence of a dog that has this gait and you observe and engage with them, you can really gain insights into the beauty of living in the present. And she's a reminder for me to live a more mindful and appreciative approach to my life. It's kind of a lesson for me. Like if I get caught up in my head and forward thinking or thinking about stuff that happened that, or regrets, or thinking about or stressing about something in the future. Now that I know this about her, it's a way for me to redirect. I look to her and it brings me back into the moment. And it's a wonderful reminder of the importance of presence and understanding her at this deeper level and accommodating her needs. I've noticed that since I've paid more mind to this, and now that I understand this about her, that we have a more fulfilling relationship and our household is more harmonious because I'm, acknowledging and facilitating what works for her. And it also just allows me to really celebrate the richness of living in the now, in the present moment. It's one thing about reading about it or taking classes about it, but when you have a beautiful little being in your home that reminds you of it every day, how wonderful is that? And so, yeah, that's kind of, there's a lot more depth to reading these charts. And if you're interested, if it fascinates you, I do now offer really detailed readings of your pet's charts. It's available on my website. I think it's enlightenedanimal.com/shop. And you'll see I have two different versions. I have one which is just learning about your dog at a deeper energetic level so that you can understand them better and learn the little nuances about their energy and their aura and who they are. And all you need to know is where they were born, and their date of birth, obviously. If you have their time of birth, it's a bonus, but it's not required. So you just need to know their place of birth and their date of birth to be able to do a chart. And I also offer a connection chart reading, which is super fascinating. So that is where you also give me your information. So your date of birth, your time of birth. Now for humans, you do need time of birth, but your date of birth, your time of birth, and your place of birth. And what it does is I create a connection chart between the two of you. So in addition to getting all the information about your dog because you do get that part as well, you also learn how their energy affects your energy and your aura based on your chart. Now, I don't do a reading of your chart because human charts are much more complex, but I do use your information to give you this relationship and connection piece, which is really fascinating because even with humans, they do relationship charts. For humans as well, your energy affects the energy of other people in the household and everyone you live with. Or your auras blend, your energies blend, and it goes another extra level deeper to really see your life's purpose, why your dog is here, and what they're here to teach you, and how you interact with each other and how they can affect your energy so that you're more aware of when things are a little off. You understand it better. Anyways, I find it absolutely fascinating. And I'm so excited to be able to share this with you. So if you found this interesting, this little snapshot of just the surface, like I said, there's a lot more layers, but I mean, I don't want to talk for an hour about my dog's chart. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little overview so you can really see how fascinating it is and how much you can learn by understanding these extra kind of fine details about your pet. So, let me know. I'd love to hear what you think about it. You can contact me through my website or on my social channels. It's Enlightened Animal, singular, one animal, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and enlightenedanimal.com for the website. And let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear. And if you really like this podcast and you don't want to miss any future episodes, please like, share, subscribe so you don't miss out. So you can get notified when the next one comes out. They usually come out every 2 weeks. And I look forward to talking with you some more in the next episode. Have a lovely day and give your pet a big hug from me. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you're the kind of person who likes to help others, then share this with your friends and family who have pets. If you have found value, they will too. If you have questions, I'm here to help. Email me questions at contact@enlightenedanimal.com, and I may use your question for a future podcast episode. If you want more, check out my website at www.enlightenedanimal.com. Finally, I have a personal request. Please leave a review wherever you're listening to this podcast, ideally a positive one, so we can reach more people and help more animals' lives. Thanks for listening.